You mentioned iodine earlier in this list of 8 nutrients. So why is that important? And what are the foods that we should be looking at to make sure that we're meeting our iodine needs?
This one's often forgotten, and so it deserves a bit more airtime. So iodine is integral to our thyroid hormone production, which regulates our metabolism. And there are quite a few papers now that have shown pescatarians, vegetarians, and vegans tend to have lower iodine status. There are 3 ways to easily get iodine in your diet. You just need to be aware of them. And the first is seaweed. So dulse and wakame, nori sheets. These are loaded with iodine. And to give you an idea, the recommended daily intake of iodine is 150 micrograms. It's tiny. This is a trace mineral. You only need a tiny, tiny amount. And to reach that 150 micrograms, you would need about 2 teaspoons of dulse or wakame flakes or 1 nori sheet. There are different views of that as a strategy that I see out there, and usually that's pertaining to the fact that the iodine content of seaweed around the world does vary. So that's just something to keep in mind, and you can do a urinary iodine test if you wanted to check your status at any stage. The second option, and is an option where you would know you're definitely getting 150 micrograms, is iodized salt. And you would need, depending on the brand, it's usually about half a teaspoon of iodized salt would provide 150 micrograms. You really need to turn it around and read the label to determine that serve. Now, the sort of potential downside of that strategy is that comes with 1,000 milligrams of sodium. And the RDI of sodium is around 2,000. So it could be an okay strategy, let's say, for someone who's doing a lot of exercise and sweating and has healthy blood pressure. But for someone with even moderately raised blood pressure, or certainly someone with hypertension, then that's not going to be the best option for them. The third option goes back to what you said earlier around, is just taking a multi-nutrient the best way to go. And you can get a single sort of isolated iodine supplement by itself, and that will provide 150 micrograms. You'll find it in pretty much all multivitamins at that input level. And I should caveat, I guess, as well, now that I think about it, these numbers I'm talking about are for healthy adults. Some of this changes if you're pregnant or breastfeeding, for example. The amount of iodine you need bumps up to in the 200s. So just keep that in mind. But when you're working with a dietitian or physician, they'll be able to direct you towards the correct dose.